So hi guys, it's Bob Bly, and I know a lot of the people on the line are my subscribers, so I'm really happy you came because I think this is going to be tremendously beneficial to you. I'll tell you why. We got a lot of people who are at various stages of progress with their internet marketing. Some of them are info marketers, some of them sell merchandise, others use the internet to promote their main business, whether they're a manufacturer or a service business or a contractor. And what I hear universally is, Bob, I'm able to follow how to put together landing pages and websites. I get how to do email. I get why I should have an e-newsletter. But my problem, and maybe this is yours too, is how do you drive traffic cost effectively? I'm spending money on Facebook advertising. It seems to work to a degree, but it's expensive. I'm spending money on pay-per-click, mainly Google AdWords, some Bing and others, but mainly Google AdWords, and it works or it doesn't, but it's expensive. So I've known, Daniel I've known for several years, and John Kremer I've known for eons. And when John contacted me a few years ago about this and said, you got to look at this with Pinterest, we are getting huge amount of clicks to the website at amazingly low cost. To do the infographics or the typographics that he's going to recommend to you, I have my graphic designer do them, and we post them, and it costs almost nothing. And, the traffic is it's not free, but it's almost free. And it's a tremendous, you have to build an arsenal of traffic drivers. You should have multiple ways. You don't want to have 500 ways, but you should pick some. And after you listen to Daniel and John present this, and they're going to demonstrate how to do this, I bet at least 3/4 of you or half of you, or maybe 80% of you will say, I'm going to add Pinterest to my traffic driving arsenal of weapons. And we've started it, but after today, Jody and I, many of you know Jody, my marketing director and customer service director, we're going to do a lot more. So not to take away from your education, I would like to now turn this over to Daniel and John, and I want to thank you guys in advance for doing this for my subscribers, my tribe. We really appreciate it.
Well, we appreciate you, Bob, and it's always an honor and a privilege to get to teach for your community. And I always say that you were one of the first guys that I actually bought a product from back when I was just a wee lad. I was probably in my maybe my late teens, early 20s, and I bought my first copywriting book from you. So to get to present to your community all these years later is it's a real treat for me and a real honor. And I really want to just acknowledge you and say that you helped me then, and you continue to help me today with your wisdom. So
I'll just tell you, the people on this call from me are doers. They don't just listen for fun. So what you teach is going to be put into practice.
I love it. That's what it takes, as you well know. Today's presentation is really, I think you're going to get a lot of great actionable steps in today's presentation. And I will start by telling you that what we're going to teach is somewhat nuanced. There are wrinkles to what we're going to teach you. In other words, there are certain broad ideas that you will instantly get, and maybe some less obvious sort of nuances in what it actually takes to convert eyeballs into cash and clicks into money in your bank account. And we're gonna cover those in today's presentation. However, you need to pay really close attention to what we're going to teach. So I'm going to recommend that if you have other things open that might distract you, maybe your cell phone, maybe your email client or Facebook, that you go ahead and close those down right now, because once again, you're going to want to really pay very close attention to what we have to teach. Today's presentation is we're going to start with John's my partner John Kramer. He's got a really great case study that I think you're really going to get a lot of good actionable information from, on how he drove over 168,000 clicks to his website using just one graphic on Pinterest and through Pinterest. And in this way, I think you'll be able to take what we show you and use it and apply it so that you can get your piece of the $11 billion a year annual share economy, doing and using what we call peer-to-peer social tokens. Now, Bob gave you a little bit of background on who we are, but let me just tell you really, really quickly here. I'm this dude here. My name is Daniel Hall. I'm an author, speaker, publisher, nurse, attorney, and podcaster. I'm also the creator of the highly popular Real Fast brand of training products. And this is my partner, John Kramer, who is the author of 1001 Ways to Market Your Books, and he is known far and wide as the grandfather of book marketing. And I follow John. I look up to John as my mentor as well. But it's not just me that has acknowledged John Kramer as being, one of the thought leaders and influencers in marketing. Folks, paragons, in fact, like Mark Victor Hansen and Jack Canfield said, if you want to sell 600 million books like we have, read and use John's book. And Stephen Covey said John Kramer was instrumental to our success in making the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People one of the 2 most influential business books of the 20th century. And I know some of you are saying, well, that's all well and good for John Kramer. What does it have to do with me? Well, I just sort of start the presentation by telling you this so that you understand the level, the caliber of the marketing acumen sort of headed down the tracks at you, so that you can, sit up and take notice. So with that, let's jump into today's presentation. And we do run a highly interactive show. We are here live with you. So what I'd like for you to do now in your chat is let me know what you are selling. So are you selling a book, a physical product, an affiliate offer? Do you have an Amazon or Etsy store or something like that? And if you would put the link, if you have a link, I would ask you to put that link to whatever your offer is in the chat, because later on when we actually take you through a demo, we're going to choose one of you to actually set up an entire funnel for you, so that again you could see how it's done, and then one of you actually gets the benefit of it, and then the rest of you get the benefit because you can emulate what we're going to teach you. So if you can put the link in your chat, that would be really, really great if you want to be considered for that, because we only do that for people that are here live with us. And for those folks that are doing that right now, I would like for you to answer this question as well in the chat. If you are selling, put a 1 in the chat if you feel like your sales could be better. Put a 2 in the chat if you're seeing sales. In other words, you're getting sales, but you're not really happy with the volume. You want to increase the amount of sales. And put a 3 in the chat if you're doing really, really well and you're pretty happy with your level of sales and you don't really feel like you need any more. So I'm looking at the chat now. Lots of 2s, some 1s. Excellent. All right. So, and again, the reason why I start by asking you these questions is because it helps us to tailor the presentation to this specific audience. So thank you for that. Really appreciate that. Awesome. All right. So yeah, I'm getting lots of 1s, 2s, mostly 1s. However, that's interesting. Great. Well, then you're definitely in the right place if you're a 1 or a 2. And if you have chosen 1 or 2, like you want more sales, and you really want to know how to do that, you've got to really face down your fundamental problem. And I think you and I can agree on this point. And that is that if you want to make more sales, you have to get more eyeballs on your offers. You have to have more people that can actually see what it is you're offering, in other words. And the really cool thing is that if you had automatic demand and instant momentum, you could probably do really, really well. And let me just ask you, if you had automatic demand for your offers, whatever that offer happens to be, whether it's copywriting or whether you're in e-commerce or an author and you want to sell more Amazon books, whatever that is, do you think it would help you if you had that automatic demand and instant momentum? Let me know in the chat if you do agree with that. If you do think that it would be helpful for you to have this automatic demand and instant momentum. Yeah, exactly. Thank you for that. And the answer, of course, is yeah. I mean, obviously, it can very, very definitely help you in your business. And the really nice thing is that there is a solution, and that solution is in harnessing what we call the share economy. And I want to give you some examples so that we're all sort of on the same page with regards to what I consider to be the share economy. First off, it's characterized by peer-to-peer help and service. So companies that embody this concept are companies like Uber, Airbnb, Lyft, TaskRabbit, and others. And let me just ask you, and if you'd go to the chat now, have you either used one of these services or know of friends or family who have? Yeah, exactly. So this is what I'm talking about when I talk about the share economy. This is the idea here is that you understand that there's peers helping other peers in whatever business they're in. Now, as I think about the share economy and applied it to the social media platforms that are available, when I first thought about anyway, I kind of thought that almost all of the social media platforms do participate in this share economy, or at least I thought so. But the fact of the matter is that when you look at Facebook and Instagram, in fact, Bob was just mentioning this. If you want to actually get eyeballs on your offers, eyeballs on whatever it is you are doing on this social media, I mean, I'm talking about significant numbers of mortgage paying numbers of people on on your post, you have to pay to play on Facebook and Instagram, which is fine if you know how to navigate that system and actually extract a profit, but very few people actually do. And it costs a lot to actually learn how to do it. I mean, to actually tinker with it and actually make it work. Which might bring to mind, well, if Facebook and Instagram aren't really a part of the share economy, what about Twitter? Well, let's talk about Twitter for just a second. Of course, you can share and retweet. That's what it's called, RT. Other people or your tweets, or other people can share your tweets. But consider this, that the half-life of a tweet is about 24 minutes, and it only goes out to your followers. So for most of us, unless we have a huge following on Twitter and we are constantly engaged with that following, it's really not worth using Twitter for the most part. And then that might bring to mind LinkedIn. Now, LinkedIn, another really good social media platform, you can definitely share content there, but most of it, once again, is shared within either professional groups and only with your connections. And again, it's just another thing where if you want more eyeballs on it, you've got to pay to get more eyeballs on any of these. And that leaves us with Pinterest. And with Pinterest, it really is the only one share economy platform as I've defined it. And the really nice thing about Pinterest is any post you make can be seen by all Pinterest users, not just those folks that are following you. And this is a really key element of Pinterest, and one of the reasons why I love using it over all these other platforms is that whatever you do on Pinterest can easily be found even years later. Okay, super important you understand that point, because the marketing that you do today can have a cumulative effect. You add more day in, day out, and you basically build a great big ball of great good marketing that can still be accessed and still spin off traffic month in, month out, in, year out, as we're going to show you in today's presentation. Now, the other cool thing about Pinterest is not only can you find stuff that you put on Pinterest a long time later, but the backbone and culture of Pinterest is sharing. That's one of the reasons why this makes it a great share economy platform, because it's what Pinterest does is it actively encourages what's called repinning. And for those of you that don't know what it is, I'm actually going to take you through and show you in just a second. But before I do, I want to ask you, how many of you here now are currently on Pinterest? If you would let me know in the chat, I would really, really appreciate that. And that would be cool. Excellent. Yes, says Christine. On Pinterest, says Julie. And let's see, what else do we've got here? Thank you. Mary's not on. Okay, started 2 weeks ago, says Chris. Awesome. Mark is not on yet. Okay. Daniel is. Okay, great. Thank you for that. Thank you for those responses. I really appreciate that. Wonderful. Okay. Well, here's the really nice thing about it. For those of you that have not yet used Pinterest, or maybe you're on it but you don't really quite get it, let me explain kind of in broad terms what it is, so that you can kind of get it and start sort of getting your mind around how useful it can be to you. First off, Pinterest is like an online bulletin board. It's mostly for collecting visual pieces of multimedia. So it could be things like animated GIFs, could be videos, but mostly it's static images. Now, the thing that makes Pinterest different in my mind than any other social media platform is that the people that use Pinterest go to Pinterest to discover new ideas and new things. Okay, that's why they're there. That's what they're doing. And these ideas can take any form that they are interested in. So if they're into cooking, they could find recipes. If they're into DIY things, they could find renovation projects. If they're into shoes or fashion, they could find, you know, clothes and coats and things like that. And the really cool thing here is that on Pinterest, if you have a passion for anything, okay, and I do mean anything, there are people on Pinterest that do and follow bulletin boards, remember, related to that thing, whatever they're most interested in, whatever that niche happens to be. Now, here's the really nice thing, is that every idea on Pinterest is represented by a pin. Now, a pin will include an image. In fact, I want you to think about a pin as an image. So if I use the word pin, I want you to think basically a graphic or an image. And if I say the word image or graphic, I want you to think pin in terms and in context of Pinterest. Now, a pin has an image usually, or almost always actually. It has an image of some kind. It can have a description, and the really interesting thing is it can have a link. This is really important, a link back to the image's source online. So you could send people from Pinterest by clicking on your graphic, and I'm going to show you how to do this in today's presentation, and have it go wherever you want them to go. I mean, there are a few exceptions, but pretty much you could send them to any of your own web properties that you want to send them. And that's really nice, because when people click on a pin's URL, they could find out more about the idea, your offer, and potentially act on it. So what I'd like to do now is actually take you through and show you how Pinterest works, and actually do a pin and a repin on Pinterest, in case because we have quite a few folks here that haven't actually looked or been on. So I'm gonna do what a lot of people on Pinterest will do. They'll come to Pinterest like this. This is my board. By the way, a couple things I want to show you here before we go too much further. This is really important. If you have a brand that you want to promote, you don't have to name your board or your profile. That's what we're looking at here. You don't have to name it after you. This does not have to be your name up here. Does not. As you can see, I've got the Real Fast Results podcast, so I want to promote that. That's important, that you know that you could do that. The other thing is, if you are a male, okay, if you are the male of the species, I would strongly recommend that you get a profile picture that has you and a female, a significant other, a friend, I don't care, but generally speaking, females that come to these profiles and see a singular male kind of staring back at them, sometimes they get spooked, and they feel much more comfortable if you have a female in the picture with you. So again, that's important. Now, it's important if you're a male. So the other thing that I want you to understand is, let's say that you're in. I love cars. I love fast, fancy cars. So I have a board called My Dream Cars, and I like to pin to that board. So I'm going to go and use Pinterest like other people use Pinterest, and search something that I'm interested in. So I'm interested in Corvettes. So I'm going to go and type in Corvettes, and you can see this is what this is what a pin looks like, right? They're just nice graphical elements like you see here in front of you. Ooh, that's pretty. That is really pretty. So what I'm going to do now, I don't think I've pinned this one before, and it's a real pretty car. I'm actually going to repin it. And I'm going to do this like any other Pinterest user would, which is basically, I'm going to search what I'm interested in, look through these, like, ooh, that's even prettier. But I'm going to pin this one right here, and I'm going to save it. Okay, I just click save, and I'm going to put it on my Dream Cards board. Oh, one other thing before I go. By the way, you can, and I could add to this description if I wished. That I could say, looking forward to buying one of these pretties. Okay, something like that. And we're going to add it to my dream board. And then there it goes, save to my dream cars. Now let's actually go look at this on my dream cars. This is a bulletin board. Remember I said that this is how things are set up on Pinterest. So this is a bulletin board. It has lots of my dream cars on here in this. And now here's the thing. Now I'm going to actually click on this image, and whatever URL, whatever website that this pinner, the initial pinner, actually set to this, it should take me to their site. So let's actually click on the image. So I'm just going to click on it. And there it goes. It took me off to somebody else's site. And if this is actually a Tumblr blog, it looks like, but it could have taken it to their Corvette, blog or whatever. Where they could be collecting my name and email address, or there could be an offer here for a Corvette pendant, or whatever. There could be a e-commerce offer on this page, and I generated a click, or I should say Pinterest generated a click for free, essentially, to this person's website. That's very, very powerful. So that's repinning. Now I want to show you how to pin from the start. Or pin from your own website. I'm going to go here to one of my blogs, danielhall.name. Now at danielhall.name, if I go over to this blog post, 3 top tips to write much faster, which is a little blog post I put together. And let's say that I'm on this site and I want to pin this. I can come over here and pin. I'm going to pin from the beginning, right? This is a pin, not a repin, in other words. And I'm going to save. And let's make that full screen. Now I could, once again, I could put more information here if I want to. And let's see where I should put this. I could put this on any number of boards. Let's actually put it on this one called Pages and Ink. So I'm going to save to that board related to again, Pages and Ink, right? So let's actually see it now. You see where it says it just pinned it to that board. So this is the pin I just now pinned to Pages and Ink. It's pretty big, so let me make it smaller. Now here's the cool thing. Because I pinned it from my blog and have not yet changed the URL behind it, if I click on it, where is it going to take me? It takes me back to my blog. Hot dog. That's what I want because people can buy stuff here. They can get on my list here. Okay, that's the power of Pinterest, and that's how you pin and essentially repin. Now, the really nice thing here is that Pinterest is the only platform that encourages users to organize boards dedicated to niches that people are actually interested in. Now, I showed you I'm interested in fast cars, and today I love Corvettes as well. So that was my interest, right? And it's also very visually stimulating and fun to browse. And also, Pinterest makes it easy to add clickable links anywhere you want to go. And I'm going to show you that here in a little while. You can change that link that went to my blog, for example. I could have changed it to send them to Amazon if I had a book on Corvettes that I wanted them to go buy or whatever, okay? Or Etsy, if I had, something on Etsy, or my own website, I could change that link. That's really, really cool. And then here's the other thing, is it actively encourages users to share pins and repins. And of course, your links to your offers also get shared with those images. Now, why this gets so powerful is that pins get shared and reshared and reshared over and over again and can generate, this is important, generate clicks for years to come. Now, if you're not looking at your screen right now, I want you to come look at your screen because this graphic really accurately demonstrates how this works. So let's say that you're interested in Corvettes like I am, and you pin a new Corvette image. So you pin that, and then people that are also interested in Corvettes, they repin it. Because again, I'm not the only one that likes Corvettes, right? And they repin it, and they repin the repins. So those people find it, and they repin the repins, and on it goes. So one pin, and we'll show you examples of this here in due course, one pin can get out to a lot of people through, again, this share economy that goes on within Pinterest. And the huge power behind this is that you get the clicks back to your offers. Okay, you get the eyeballs to that buy button. And of course, because of that, you stand to make a lot more money. And the thing I love about this is that you can do it on autopilot. Once one of those bad boys gets released out into the world, it stays out there. It resides there forever and ever. Amen. Okay. Along with your link, okay? That's powerful. I hope you're getting excited about and seeing the huge, huge opportunity that Pinterest represents for the savvy marketer, okay? Which I know that you're on Bob's, you follow Bob Bly, you got to be pretty dang savvy to be following Bob. And here's the thing, this strategy really can turbocharge any of your offers, or at least it has the potential to do so. And when you understand this sort of exponential or potential exponential growth of your link, it really makes a lot of sense, because get this, the average pin, we're going to show you how to be above average, but the average pin is repinned 11 times. Okay, so that's really, really a great thing when you think about just how powerful that can be. Now, what I'd like to do now is to kind of show you and turn the floor over to my business partner, John Kramer. And John was the first one that really turned me on to this. And John, could you kind of take people through your first sort of foray into success on Pinterest?
Okay. The thing is that I started on Pinterest about 5.5 years ago, and I was playing around with it and so on. And then I saw this graphic, the skinny rules. It was 20 rules that Bob Harper describes in his book, The Skinny Rules. And Bob Harper at that time was one of the hosts on The Biggest Loser on NBC. And I saw it and I said, well, those are great rules, but boy, that's an ugly graphic. So I decided to make it better. I put a pink border around it. To me, that was good. That was pretty good. The neat thing is that this simple graphic with the pink border got 40,000 repins in the next month. And I was going, whoa, if I can get that many repins with that ugly thing, what would happen if I made it prettier? So I created a taller, thinner one based on the colors of the actual book. So it's blue and yellow. And I created this tall, thin graphic. And it's that graphic over the next 2 years that got over 1.4 million pins and repins. And that's a lot. That's a lot of traffic. It sent 168,424 people to my website simply from that one simple graphic that I blogged about, pinned from my blog, and people shared it and shared it and shared it, and they are still sharing it 5 years later. So it's still sending traffic to my website over that time. And that's incredible. And the neat thing is I became a fitness expert as a result of that one pin. If you look at me, you would say fitness expert, but it doesn't matter, because on Pinterest, you become the expert for whatever you share. But the key thing is Pinterest has incredible staying power. Every pin on Pinterest can last and last and last and continue to send traffic for years, like 5 years in my experience. Now, Daniel said that the half-life of a tweet is 24 minutes. That means half the people that will see that tweet see it in the first 24 minutes. With Facebook, the half-life of a Facebook post is 90 minutes. That means that on average, a Facebook post, half the people will see it in the first 90 minutes. And on Pinterest, the half-life of a Pinterest pin is 3.5 months. We're not talking minutes, we're talking months. And the neat thing about that, when you think about it, is that a Pinterest pin stays active 2,000 times longer than a post. That means that people have more opportunity to interact with your pin, 2,000 times more opportunity than with Facebook, 6,000 times more opportunity with than Twitter. And this is, it's that opportunity to interact with your pin that really, really makes the difference. Because once somebody pins it, as Daniel described earlier, it goes on to be repinned by other people that are following those people, and so on and so on, so that you can get incredible eyeballs. I mean, back when I did the Bob Harper one, I had something like 1,000 followers at that time, and that generated 1.4 million repins in the next 2 years. So it wasn't coming from my followers, it was coming from the followers of my followers and the followers of those followers and the followers of those followers. It's the power of the repin. 80% of all pins are repins. That means that Pinterest is really designed for sharing, and people love to share on Pinterest. In my experience, people click through on a pin or a repin at anywhere from 2% to 25%. That means if they see it, 2% to 25% will click through to my website. So they are ready and willing to visit your sales page to find out more. And that's what's really neat, is that the Pinterest pins convert to eyeballs. Now, can you do this? Can you create one of these? Look how simple they are. The most complicated one is 101 ways to say great, because you got to create 3 columns. But other than that, it's a simple thing to create. It could be created in Microsoft Word. 107,000 repins, 6,000 visits in 2 years. 18 things high achievers do. I created that in Word in about 10 minutes. I had to type out the words, you know. 92,000 repins, 32,000 visits. That's like 33%, over 33% click-through rate. 15 things to give up if you want to be happy. It's all words basically, but it's designed as a graphic. 281,000 repins, 38,000 visits, and 16 unusual. Who knew that anybody would be interested in cucumbers? And unusual uses for it, but it's had 96,000 repins in the first 2 years and generated almost 8,000 visits. But what is really incredible about this is the generation of traffic in the last 3 years. The 101 ways to say great, 13,182 more visits in the last 3 years. 18 things, 24,834 more visits. 15 things to give up, 21,847 more visits. And the cucumber one, 6,863 more visits in the past 3 years. That means just from these 4 graphics, pinned once, I've had 66,726 more visits in the last 3 years on autopilot, because I didn't repin them. They've been repinned by other people and shared and shared and shared over and over again, driving traffic to my website 5 years after I originally pinned them. And in the last 3 years, generating again 66,726 visits to my website on autopilot. I didn't have to do any more work. This is what Daniel really liked about it and Bob liked about it, because it means, you know, you get automatic traffic without having to do anything more. Now, here's an example of a quote graphic that I shared. You know, I created the quote graphic, then I shared it, blogged about it and pinned it from my blog. And with it, the reason I'm showing this to you is I wanted to see how quick things can happen. In 10 hours, 15 people from my audience repinned it. The really neat thing is that 266 other people pinned it from those repins. So the people that followed me, 15 pinned. 266 people who did not follow me repinned it from the people that they followed. And that's what happens. And that was within 10 hours. So that's how fast things can start to happen. And the neat thing is, this is something that anybody can do. So it works well for ordinary people. Sarah Hathaway, one of our course participants, my Pinterest and Twitter followers have exploded since I started this program, as well as my blog and website hits. That means she's getting traffic to her blog and website on autopilot, and it's an easy thing to do. She did not think it was complicated at all. So this is the power of Pinterest, the share economy. It's a peer-to-peer social media platform where people love to share. They love to post the things that they create wish lists, they create shopping lists, they create bucket lists for things they want to do and things they want to buy, and it's all through the share. Each person shares it or repins it to one of their own boards that they've created that's very targeted. And so the people who follow that targeted board, whether it's a fitness board or a food board or a car board, they want to see more of those things because they're also going to pin it to their content boards. And if you want to know the key to a woman's soul, follow her on Pinterest. They really do pin for what they love. And I've identified 6 F's, I call it Pinterest. These are the things that women really share a lot: fitness, food, fashion, family, funny things, and anything with cute animals. They also share inspiration and motivation, design, home decor, recipes, crafts, hobbies, beautiful homes, travel, and more. I mean, people will share whatever they're passionate about, whatever they're interested in. The reason I talk about women here is that 80% of the users, active users on Pinterest, are women. That means if you've got something that you want to reach out and sell to women, you're golden. Because the active people, the ones that do the most repinning, are women. It doesn't mean men aren't active. That 20% is still a larger audience than the people that read Sports Illustrated and GQ in the same month. So it's still a very big active audience, even for men. So how do you make money through Pinterest? Well, the users, they browse their interests on Pinterest and they discover new things. And the neat thing is that Pinterest, as they notice what you like, will showcase things that you like. So you see more pins and things about that you're passionate in. So Daniel, he sees lots of cars. I see a lot of things about writing because I'm a writer. But I also see funny things like Snoopy, because I love Snoopy. So you see the things that you love to see. And then if you like something, you click through on that image, and that gives you a chance to buy whatever the person has to sell. Now, a lot of people on Pinterest, they're not selling anything. They're just sharing what they love. And that's neat. So you get taken back to a blog post, or maybe even they just uploaded an image and that's all you see. But for us who want to sell something on, and drive traffic, the neat thing is that they click on the image and they go to the link that you have defined. So you can define that link in any way you want. So they go to your lead capture page, they go to a sales page, whatever, and they buy very significantly. And if they don't buy, they'll save it to a wish list and buy later. Daniel, you want to share that one experience you had with somebody?
Absolutely, and it really brought home the point of doing and working with Pinterest, because I was really was out with one of my colleagues, and we were actually having pizza, and I was in paying the bill and walked out where my friend was sitting, and she was sitting on this bench out in front of this pizza restaurant and playing on her phone, waiting on me. And I walked up, sat down next to her, and I saw her playing. She was on Pinterest on her iPhone. And I'm kind of look over her shoulder. I'm like, oh, what are you doing? She says, oh, I just found this really pretty bracelet on Pinterest, and I saw her save it to one of her boards. And I said, well, what's going on? She says, well, I really want to buy this. I've been looking for a bracelet like this, and I'm going to save it to my board. And later on tonight, when I'm in private and where I feel like I'm secure to take out my credit card, I'm going to go buy it. I'm like, oh, that's when it was like, it finally dawned on me what people are doing with Pinterest. They'll save things and then they'll go back and buy them later. I'm like, okay, I finally get it. I got it. And that was sort of a watershed moment for me. And that's the thing I really want you to understand as well about why you want to do this.
And so, how do we know that they buy? Because the average order value of sales coming from Pinterest is $50. This is Shopify statistics based on the Shopify stores that have been set up by users. And that's a higher value of sales than any other major social platform. Also, Pinterest is a major driver of online traffic. It's the #2 overall source of social media traffic to Shopify e-commerce stores. Facebook is #1, but you got to pay for the Facebook ads to drive people. Pinterest, it's free. You can buy ads, but in my experience, I haven't, because I'm getting so much traffic organically. 2 million people pin products every day, product pins every day. That's 20 times more than the daily shoppers at the largest mall in America. And 93% of Pinterest users say that they use the platform to plan purchases. And that, that's a nice statistic, especially when you consider that there's 80 million active users in the US and 200 million worldwide. So you have an audience that potentially you could reach anywhere you want in the world with the kind of information and targeted links and images that you want. Now I wanted to tell you about the 2 most effective pins. I noticed that somebody asked, can you pin videos? And I said, yes, but in my experience, videos don't really drive traffic that much. I have one video out of about 50 or 100 that I've pinned at one time or another on Pinterest that drove any kind of traffic. And it did drive traffic. It drove 18,000 people to my website. So it's not a bad pin, but I have found that where the traffic really comes from are quote graphics. And this is inspirational, funny, or motivational quotes related to your product or service. And the typographics that we've already showcased and the incredible traffic that they're driving for me. Typographics drive more than anything else. They're tall, thin graphics with information, 5 to 20 tips on them. And they look like this, tall and thin. Think of the size and shape of a bookmark, anywhere from 300 by 800 pixels up to 730 pixels wide and 2,000 or 3,000 pixels long if you want. But this is a nice size. It fits well. And so think of it as tall and thin, condensed content from your book or from a blog post, or great tips to use your product or your service. Use the colors found on the book cover or the product or whatever you're offering. Include a picture of the cover or the product or the product in use, something like that. And then link to your Amazon listing or your product page, your sales page, email capture page, or any other landing page you want it to go to. It could be a blog post. It can be whatever you want it to be because you control the link when you pin. The neat thing is that the people that repin, it used to be that you could change the URL when you repinned an image. That's no longer true. The link that you created, when somebody repins your image, your link goes along with it. So every repin drives traffic to your website. So that's really neat. Now, I wanted to show you the difference between a typographic like the one on the right and the infographics that people are all abuzz about. The problem with infographics is, one, they're time consuming and often cost a lot of money or time to create. They're complicated. They're beautiful in some way, but they're very complicated. The other big problem is that 80 to 90% of Pinterest users access Pinterest on their cell phone, their smartphone. You can't read these complicated infographics on a cell phone without increasing the magnification, scrolling back and forth, and doing all kinds of stuff. Nobody on Pinterest has the time to do that. Whereas this typographic on the right, that can be read instantly, even on a cell phone, so that people can read it and act on it. If they like the information, they'll click through right away. Whereas with these complicated infographics, the best that they might do is save it to one of their boards, but they don't click through because they haven't had time to read it. And they're not going to on a cell phone. Now here are some quote graphics, because I told you the other kind of driver of traffic is quote graphics. Quote graphics are simple things, words over images, or simply words like on the right. This coincidence is God's way of remaining anonymous has driven over 30,000 repins. Take time to do what makes your soul happy has driven over 212,000 repins. This other one, nobody cares about your excuses, it's your ass, you move it, has had over 2,500 repins. In my experience, it's better to go with the words over an image than just words as the image, because you can see the traffic is more with the images. The images draw more attention to your pin. So I always encourage people to pin over to put words over the image, which you can do very easily in Microsoft Word. You can do it very easily in a lot of other graphics programs, and there's online services you can use to create these graphics, and we teach you all that, how to do it in multiple different ways. So the big question is, when should you start using Pinterest and use it in a smart way? Because again, we're talking about, if you're using quote graphics and typographics, you're going to drive traffic. If you're simply pinning the cover of a book or maybe a product shot, you're not going to drive as much traffic. Tell people how to use your product. Tell people, get people inspired to click through to find out more information. That's what's going to drive your traffic. That's how you use Pinterest in a smart way. So Daniel.
Yes, I really appreciate it. And there are lots of ways to make money on Pinterest. And because we're talking with a lot of Bob's community here, I'm going to take one of your pins now and actually show how to actually do this with one of yours. So while Carolyn does that,
Daniel, that you taught her, taught everybody, don't go online while they're listening to this. So she probably has to take some time to get to the Amazon to get a link.
Yeah. So I want, and which is great. So while Carolyn's doing that, I want everyone else to make note of this site, because I love this site to start off start off my graphic, because I'm going to actually build a graphic for you, Carolyn. And let's see, the name of hers is Magicide. That was the Magicide. Let's see if I got this right. Magicide. That looks like one of your books. This is yours, right? Cool, great. Okay, so I like this cover. Very, very interesting. And looks good. Looks really good in pro. So we're actually going to take this site here and work with this one. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to again come back over here to placeit.net. Now, placeit.net is where you can actually have mock-ups made of your product, so you can get like really good product shots, in other words. So right here, I'm actually going to put in presentation, and if you use some of their smaller images, it's actually free to do, which is one of the reasons why I wanted to show it to you here. So we're going to actually look at, let's look at this one right here. Now let's look at this one. There's a couple things I love about it. First off, you see where it says that you've got to drop your image here. That's 1024 by 768 pixels wide. You got to worry about all that. Well, not if you do it this way. If you have your your product shot on a website like we do here with Carolyn's book, you could actually take a screen capture. So I'm going to actually grab the URL that goes to this site, and I'm going to go here where it says screenshot from URL and plug that bad boy in like that, and it hits go. And what it's doing now is it's actually pulling that screen image in the exact proportions that are required for this particular site, and that's pretty nifty, because as you look at it, it looks like it's stellar, like, right? It's like all pro, right? With Carolyn's site here and Magicide, her book, looking good. So I'm actually going to log in here, and the next thing I want to do is, if I go over here to download this image, and I choose the small one, you see I can do it for free. And by the way, I get an unlimited license, and it is a smaller image, but for what our purposes, it's good enough. This is that's good. It's great, in fact. So I'm going to download that bad boy right now. And look over here where it says My Drive. It's actually going to put it up in My Drive and allow me to actually download it. So I'm going to do that right now. And I'm going to put it here on, I'm going to put it on my desktop. And we're going to put in here Magicide. Okay, so we've got this image ready to go, Carolyn. And I think it looks great. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go to Canva, C-A-N-V-A, which is this free design. It's basically a design site. And I'm going to come over here. You could, use this yourself. It's, again, free to use. And I'm going to put in our dimensions. So 300 by 800 pixels. Okay. And then hit design. Boom, just like that. And I want you to notice, what do we have here? Well, we have our bookmark size graphic. This is the beginning of the graphic that we're making for Carolyn's book. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here and upload that other image that I just made for Grandma or for Carolyn's book. And there we go. It's uploading right now over here. As you can see, you could actually see the little water telling you that it's not quite finished uploading. That will be up in just a second, hopefully. And we're going to actually put that down in here like this. All right. And I like to make it as big as possible while we could still see the cover of the book like this. Something maybe a little teeny tiny smaller like that. There we go. That looks good. Now, the next thing I want to do is I'm actually going to come over here to our background color. And let's use a nice dark one. This is magic. So let's use a black one like this. And I'm going to kind of match the colors in her cover as well. And come over here. And we're going to actually get a great magic quote. So we're going to go magician's quote. Like that. And let's see, we've got, I usually like brainy quotes. They're usually pretty good. So I'm going to see what we got here to work with, because we're making a quote graphic. And let's see. So I like this one from David Copperfield. So let's grab that. And just grab that. Copy it, highlight it, copy it, and come back over here. And we're going to put our text in here like this. And boom. There's our nice David Copperfield quote. And obviously it's too big, so we're going to highlight it. And then we're going to make it smaller for us. That's still a little too big. Make this maybe that. There we go. That's going to be good. And we're going to take out all of this. And we're going to put quotes on this bad boy like this. And we're going to make sure that this is coming from, we're quoting our source, David Copperfield. Okay. Field. Okay, so now I'm going to kind of get this and start working with it now that I've got my quote that I like. And I don't really like that font, so we're going to change that up a little bit. Let's look for something. Let's look at this. Nope, can't read it. See, that doesn't work because you can't read that font, can you? I can't anyway. So let's look for something a little easy. What about this one? Can we read that? No, still don't like that. Let me use something. This will probably be good. There we go. That's readable. And I like that. Okay, and I think we've got 2 P's in Copperfield, right? Right. And let's make that just a tad smaller and maybe go with a 22. Let's try 22. There we go. There we go. And then let's put a little headline on here. Something like, Oh, I don't know. Maybe read magic into your life. Something like that. Copy. And let's go with this, and let's go with something like maybe a 21. No, let's look at maybe 28. There we go. Maybe even a little larger. There we go. I'm happy with this. All right, good. Now, let's pretty this up. Actually, one other thing. We're going to add another thing down here, and we're going to get it on Amazon. Some call to action like that. And there we go. There we go. And now I'm gonna, this is still a little too plain Jane for my taste. I'm going to add a nice border right, not really a border actually. We're gonna do a backdrop like this. And we're going to maybe make this like this. Put that over the top like that. And we're going to go with a red. Ours red. No, how about there? That's a little bit better. And you're like, well, what about the headline, Daniel? Well, what we're going to do with that is we're going to actually send this, and we're going to arrange it and send it to the back like that. And there we go. Okay, so now we're cooking with gas, right? Now we've got an image that we can now go pin. So let's go do that right now. Let me hit file. We're going to save this bad boy, and we're going to download it. And I'm going to download it here to my desktop. And we're going to put maybe something like magic book pin. By the way, this is an important point that I'm teaching you here. This should, the name of your pin should be a keyword, okay, for you. Now, I might be off on this particular keyword for you, but I just, again, this is, you know, just for demonstrative purposes to show you, but make this a keyword for you, because then that will be actually be easier to find on Pinterest. Okay, so we've now saved it. Now I'm going to actually go back to Pinterest here, Carolyn, and pin it. Let's do that right now. So I'm on Pinterest here. I'm going to come over here to this little plus button, because you could upload directly to Pinterest, like I'm going to show you how to do here. So I'm going to upload this image. Let's look for our magic pin. There it is, magic book pin. We're going to open it, and now it's uploading it. Now here's the magic. Okay, pay real close attention to this, because this is where you will set where this where the link will go when people click on it. So we want people to go to Carolyn's book here, Magicide, copy, and we're going to put it over here into the destination URL. Boom, just like that, and then hit continue. And that's going there. Now let's do a little more here with regard to the description. So I'm going to actually grab this copy that is here. So let's see. Copy it and kind of start telling the story. and we're going to put it over here. And good. So that kind of starts the story. And maybe if I put it here on another call to action, get it on Amazon. Good. Now I'm going to put this on my articles and resources page. That's where I'm going to put it right now. By the way, Carolyn, if you want to come get it, go follow me on Pinterest, and then you could repin it to your heart's content. But we're going to save it onto that board right now. And now let's see it on my board. So here it is. Now here's the beautiful thing about this, Carolyn, and everyone else watching. I click on this. Where does it take me? Right directly to Carolyn's book, so people can buy it. They're engaged. They find the pin that they like, and then they go off to wherever it is you want to send them, so that they could potentially buy from you. Okay, so that's super. I hope that you could see super powerful here. And the really nice thing is that you might be asking, well, does this actually make money? Well, I asked John to kind of pull down just a few of his accounts, and I would just to show you here, just in 1-2 books, essentially, generating about between $600 to $800 a month, and again, completely on autopilot. And would that make a difference? Would it be nice to be able to like pay for your car payment and not have to worry about that money coming in? Well, that's the kind of power that we have here. And the really nice thing is it's not just us that's working this. Many of our students are doing very well. Like I wanted to point out Felicitas here, who is also a student of ours, and she says, I'm happy to report I have recovered more than I've paid for the course you're about to grab now, by being an affiliate for it. And then the last thing she says, it's kind of a set it and forget it kind of thing, really, which is true. It actually works very much in that way. And then Dennis Kashkin, who owns a SaaS site called Board Booster that we recommend, and it helps to automate the Pinterest marketing that we teach. And Dennis works with some of the biggest brands in the world, and some of the biggest bloggers in the world. And he says that some people earn $50,000 per month just from blogging and pinning. So let me just ask you, are you excited that you have finally found a way to build your business on autopilot? Let us hear from you in the chat. John wants to know, Bob wants to know, I want to know. Does this excite you? And while you do that, let me take a sip of water. Cool. Awesome. Well, one of the things I wanted to do here is to introduce you to our completely updated for 2018 Real Fast Social Graphics training and coaching program, because basically this is a total system for Pinterest success. And the best thing here is it's specifically designed, well, for folks like you and I, people that are not graphic designers or these really sophisticated marketers. I mean, if you are a good marketer, if you do know how to make things pretty, as a graphic designer, so much the better, but you don't need that in order to be successful with it. And that's really what we're all about. This training, Real Fast Social Graphics, and the coaching that comes along with it, it's really designed for one thing: to help you master money making on Pinterest. And specifically, we're going to help you to show you how to build images that practically beg to be shared over and over again, with your buy link, with your link to your lead magnets, wherever it is that you want to send folks. Then also we show you how to, what I call repin for the win, because we have strategies for repinning and using existing images for maximum sharing and clicks, which of course could be a huge time saver and of course money maker, because you're using what's already been created. but in totally different ways than most people on Pinterest do it. You've got to use actually a constellation of strategies to make money from repinning. But once you understand them and apply them, mamma mia, it can work very, very well. The other thing that I just love about Pinterest, and I think you will too when you get into it, is that on Pinterest, you could actually spot trends, new trends in your niche. Because they're getting hot, they're actually coming to bear on Pinterest before the wider community knows about it. And so we teach you how to spot trends, and then once you have spotted a trend, how to use that to drive more traffic to your buy buttons and offers. And if you are into e-commerce, I'll just tell you that Pinterest is the perfect coupling with e-commerce. So if you've got an Amazon, Etsy, eBay, Shopify store, if you have your own website, or if you're an affiliate marketer, this really fits like a hand in glove really, really well to bring traffic, buyers specifically, to your site. And the nice thing about it is that we're going to show you how to create effective pins, even if you're like John and I, you're tragically unartistic. And we're going to actually show you how to use programs that you already have to do this. So we're not asking you to go buy Photoshop and learn Photoshop. Oh, no. We don't roll like that. We're going to show you how to design in PowerPoint, probably a program you have, or MS Word. And even if you don't have those, we're going to show you how to use free sites like Pablo and TypeSlab. And I have a whole training. I love Canva. So there's a big part of this creating pins is on Canva as well. Now, this is the other thing that I love about Pinterest, especially the way we do it and teach it. We're going to show you how to profit on just 5 minutes a day. So this is perfect for the busy person who has to get the maximum benefit out of a minimum of time. I mean, how many of us, trot off to go to Facebook, thinking we're going to engage influencers and help build our business and whatnot. And, 3 hours later, we have accomplished nothing except waste our time and be social a little bit. That's not the way we do things. We're going to show you how to get on Pinterest, do what you need to do so that you get results quickly. Okay. And then that's the other really nice thing about this. We're going to show you if you want to build your expert status. Say you're a copywriter and you want to be, at the stature of somebody like Bob Blott, okay, or a expert in, or a coach or a trainer. Again, we're going to show you the secrets of building your author or expert status, like you see here from folks like Brian Tracy and Tony Robbins, and Guy Kawasaki and John Lee Dumas. Now, the other really nice thing is that if you are an author, we deal with a lot of authors. Folks like, even if you're a novelist like Janet Ivanovich or Robert Patterson or Jodi Picoult or even folks like Johanna Basford. You're going to love Johanna Basford because her claim to fame, the way she does it, is she is like the coloring book queen. Okay, that's her thing. So, and again, she's using Pinterest to build a following, build her platform, build her expert status. And I love the Brown Sugar food blog. And I mean, if you're a blogger, wow, super, super powerful to use Pinterest as well. Now, the other thing that we're going to teach you to do is to harness and leverage group boards, as I write here on this page. It says group boards equal group love. And actually, I'd like to have John come back on and do a little bit more teaching with regards to group boards and why they're a part of our program and why you're going to love it. So, John, can you tell folks about group boards, please?
Yeah, Daniel. A group board is simply any of your boards where you invite other people to collaborate with you on that board, so they can pin to the board as well. Otherwise, you can only pin to your own boards, but you can also pin to group boards that you join or group boards that you create. In this case, I have a group board called on blogging and internet marketing, and I invited some of my internet marketing friends like Mike Koenigs and Jason Flatian and Joe Com and Daniel Hall to pin also. So the neat thing about that is it means that even when I'm not active on Pinterest, there are people pinning to at least some of my boards. And so I sort of stay active on Pinterest even when I'm not, I'm taking a vacation. But as Daniel's now highlighting here, is that when you create a group board, you control the cover image for the board. And in this case, the cover image is Pinterest is where viral book marketing lives. I think that says lives down there. You can't see that part of
Yeah,
it.
that's what it says, John.
But the neat thing is that when somebody joins your group board, that board shows up on their profile as well. So Joel Comm, Mike Koenigs, Jason Flatian, Daniel Hall, when somebody goes to visit them, they also see the group board. So that's one of the neat ways that you can start to magnify your influence very quickly is by working with other people. And it's also good to join some group boards from that other people have created. There's some magnificent group boards out there, and we actually in the course teach you how to join a group board, what to ask for, how to find the best group boards for what you're doing so that you can magnify your influence instantly. And that's really important because you don't want to just be sitting there building one person audience at a time. You want to magnify your influence immediately. And group boards is one way to do that.
Yeah, exactly. And thank you for that, John. In the other thing that you get with this training and coaching is this exclusive Board Booster training. I'd referenced a Board Booster as being a SaaS program that we love. It's software as a service. And this is actually put out by Dennis Kashkin, and he actually did a really great job of doing a training on best practices that he has seen on Pinterest, working with some of the biggest brands that use Pinterest and some of the biggest bloggers. So you're going to get that with this special webinar training, as well as a 3-month free access to this software. And then once you like it, and you will like it, and even if you don't, so you could just walk away because it's not really integral to what we teach. It's an adjunct, and it can be helpful. But I think you're going to love it. And if you want to stick around, it's only $5 a month thereafter. I mean, it's just insanely, nutsly cheap for everything that it does. So you're going to get that as well. The other thing that I tell my coaching clients all the time is that they need to do more collaboration. They need to be working with others in their field. And one of the great ways to do that is by building a tribe. That's a term of art, tribe on Pinterest. And the really cool thing when you do that is you turbocharge this peer-to-peer sharing so that your pins get shared even faster into a wider group of potential buyers. So you get that as well. Now, if you're not looking at your computer screen right now, come look at it because this is really, really exciting what I have to share with you here. The really nice thing is that when you know what you're doing on Pinterest, when you take and you become one of our students, we're going to show you how to piggyback on traffic from daily television shows like Dr. Oz, like The View, and others. So the really cool thing here is that we show you how to piggyback on the buzz that is going to be generated tonight, for example, on a certain show. So we show you what's coming up into the future, how to prepare for a guest that you want to sort of highlight. And we show you how to leverage that so that you get the traffic from somebody else's appearance on one of these big talk shows on Pinterest. So this one module alone is worth the price of admission, and I'm really excited about it because it's like it's very predictable, the traffic that generates or that can be generated from just this one strategy. So we actually teach that, and of course you get our personal help as well, because what we do is we have a closed, members only, private Facebook group that you will get for life. Now, we've been kicking around the idea of starting to charge a monthly fee for this, and we probably will do that in the future. But you will be grandfathered, and it will be probably about $100 a month. So you're going to be grandfathered. When you join us today, you will be a part of this group. And as you can see here, we're not a flash in the pan. We've been around for a while. This is probably our 4th year with this Real Fast Social Graphics training, and we have over 800 students that are part of this. And there's some very smart cookies in that group as well, and they're ready, willing, and able, many of them, to help you. And of course, John and I are in this group helping and supporting and answering questions and coaching as well. So you get us basically for life as well, and access that way to us. Now, I also realize that many of you want to hit the ground running. You want results like right now, today. And the really cool thing here is that I've got this complete Canva training that I did for you, and 5 done for you Canva Pinterest templates. So again, you can, as soon as this webinar is over and you get into the members area, you could be up and running like literally within 15 minutes of the webinar being over. So you're going to get that as well. And of course, we've had, again, many students come through this program and have tremendous success. I just wanted to point out a few of them here, like Judith. She says, I've discovered that traffic from my Proofread NZ website as of the 30th of November tripled, get this, from a very consistent 8-year performance level. So once again, this is very, very typical. You will increase your traffic most likely to wherever you want to send people. And then this is another reason why, because when you follow our directions, it is likely, not promised, but it is likely that Pinterest will actually start promoting you via email. So this is a pin, or this is actually an email, as you can see here, that John forwarded to me. And this is actually one of our students' boards that they're promoting to John, which, I just like, Mamma mia, this is so, it just gets better and better and better. So once again, this is a really tremendous opportunity, again, if you want free traffic to your site. So you're going to get that, as well as these bonuses like Facebook marketing for authors and experts to get more fans, the Twitter Mania Manual, the secret to building an incredibly fanatical following on Twitter, and how to use LinkedIn to promote yourself as an author or expert, find promotional partners, and build long-lasting and useful relationships. You see, taken together, this really is a social marketing suite for folks just like us. Publishers, authors, copywriters, information product creators, internet marketers, and experts of every stripe. Now, you might be asking yourself, well, dang, this sounds really great. How much is it? Well, the sale price, when we put this on sale, when it's off sale to organic traffic, it's $997. When we put it on sale, it's $497. That is not your investment, not your investment. In fact, if you go to this link right now, realfastsocialgraphics.com/Bob, by the way, that link is in your chat, you're going to get a whopping big discount that Bob negotiated for you. And by the way, I think we've got that in the chat. Do we not, Anthony, have that in the chat? It's in the chat. So let me know whether that works for you in the chat. Could somebody that's here now click on that link and let me know? Let me know that works in the chat so that I can just keep on rolling here. Lovely. Awesome. Thank you for that. Yes, works for me, Carolyn says. Okay, great. So here's what I'd like to do. I want to kind of put this in the value of this deal in perspective for you. The investment, as you can tell when you go to realfastsocialgraphics.com/Bob, is very, very low. And to put value in perspective, John is getting approximately 4,000 free clicks a week. John Kramer is. And, you know, we were talking to Bob, and I've done a lot of Facebook advertising myself. If you were to buy that traffic, let's say that you were only, you know, paying 25 cents a click, which, you know, on Facebook, good luck with that. You know, that would be about $1,000 per week that comes in. And as you can see, and as you've seen in today's presentation, the traffic just keeps coming. You can't even turn off the traffic. I mean, I suppose you could pull down your site and turn it off, but why would you do that? Okay, so the place you want to go to grab this very special offer is at realfastsocialgraphics.com/Bob right now. And the other thing that I want to just highlight for you is that we're going to continue to deliver for you. You know, John has been in business for over 30 years now, and I've been in business for 10. And one of the reasons why we love to work with Bob Bly is because all three of us know our own success is directly related to yours. That's why we've had such staying power and why you will not be alone in your journey to a more profitable business. The other thing I wanted to let you know is that our business is A+ accredited by the Better Business Bureau. So you can trust us, essentially. We've been around for a while. We do things the right way, and we look after those people that invest in our trainings. So the place to go is realfastsocialgraphics.com/Bob. You're heading over there right now. That link is in your chat if you're here live with us. And John, I wanted you to tell folks about what I consider to be the best bonus yet. In fact, I really consider this to be the well worth the investment just for this one bonus. But can you tell them about this particular bonus?
Yeah, Daniel. Because I believe in the value of group boards, I created 4 group boards exclusively for the people that sign up for this course. One is on tips that you see here. Another one is on great gifts for women. Another one is great gifts for men. And the 4th one is motivational and inspirational quotations. Now, the neat thing is for you guys is that all of these boards have somewhere between 5,000 and 6,000 followers already built into the process. So even if you only have 2 or 3 followers or 100 or 200 followers, you now have access by joining these group boards to 5,000 to 6,000 followers immediately, instant audience for you. So that you can start to pin and know that there will be a lot of people that see your pins and have the opportunity to repin them. The other thing I encourage people who join these group boards to do is repin each other's pins to other specific boards that you have. That way you start the repinning process for each other, and that is incredibly valuable.
And the other thing I wanted to just to kind of highlight again, as I started off today's presentation with telling you that John has really helped a lot of the paragons in the industry. Maybe you know or have heard of Deepak Chopra. Well, John actually helped to take Deepak Chopra from a Vanity Press author to being a New York Times bestseller more than 8 times. And by the way, the place to go to grab this very special deal is there in your chat, realfastsocialgraphics.com/Bob. I also wanted to highlight another one of our friends, Joel Comm, another New York Times bestselling author, and he says Kramer's the go-to guy for marketing books, of course, but not only are Kramer's tips and resources excellent for promoting books, but that you can use many of the techniques and strategies for promoting a variety of other goods and services. Highly recommended. Okay. And I know some of you are saying, well, Daniel, how quickly can I see results? Well, I wanted to highlight another one of our students, Rhonda, and pay attention to the dates here. She says, results update yesterday, July 2nd. I enrolled in the course that you're enrolling in right now. She watched the videos and started implementing. And she says it was late in the afternoon. I had no Pinterest traffic for the last month. This is no surprise since I had not used it as a source, but drum roll, please. 23.5% of her traffic yesterday came from Pinterest. So basically, she had a almost a quarter increase in her daily traffic in one day. Okay, that's the power of this. Realfastsocialgraphics.com/Bob is where you want to go and grab this very special deal. So if you have questions about today's training, about the offer, the time to do that is to get them into the questions box right now, and we will answer them. And if you have and if you haven't yet invested and you want to, I just tell you that the very best deal we have running on this is available right now. Okay, cannot guarantee that it's going to be available later. In other words, if you could hear the sound of my voice right now, you are getting the very best deal. So I strongly recommend it that if you've decided to go ahead and grab this very special deal, that you just go ahead and get it right now while the grabbing is good. Okay, so do we have questions here? Well, we got one from Wendy, I see. He says, how long does the training go for? It's actually all in the members area, and it's a go at your own pace. And John and I are in the chat, or we're in the Facebook group all the doggone time as well. So you get us there as well. So it is a go at your own pace kind of deal. And then we got another question here from, okay, I'm sorry, go ahead, John. I didn't mean to cut you off.
That's okay. There are a couple of questions on what the course could be used for, like home-based business opportunities. And another person asked about real estate, marketing real estate. And another person said, is it relevant for Australian residents? And the answer to all those questions is yes, you can use it for any of those opportunities. I've seen real estate companies market houses that they have for sale, because you can target people locally. So you can have a local Denver board or a local Phoenix board on real estate. So Phoenix real estate or beautiful Phoenix houses, you can create multiple boards that people that are interested in Phoenix homes, potentially to buy at some point, they will see your post. The same with home business opportunities. You can sell your own products in home business. You can sell affiliate products on home business, like ClickBank products or Amazon products. So there's a lot of opportunity there, and it's worldwide. Australia, India, Germany, Great Britain, places in Africa. I have a number of followers in Nigeria and Ghana and South Africa. So it's open, worldwide, to sell what you have to sell, no matter what the service is.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And Bob asked a great question. I'm not sure. I don't think this is Bob Bly, but it's another Bob. Bob says, what businesses hold the best potential, hard goods or digital products or services? You have an opinion on that, John?
Both work really well. I don't think there's a distinction. People buy a lot of hard goods, like your friend, the jewelry. But
yes.
People sell Etsy products and eBay products on there. And of course, digital products work really well because, again, you can sell anything through Pinterest. You have to realize that Pinterest people, a lot of them are really interested in fashion, food, and things like that you can't sell digitally. You have to sell them in the real world. So they'll buy anything that interests them, that follows their passion. Most of what I sell is digital because I create books, I create reports and things like that. So, that's what I sell. But you can sell hard goods really easily. And there are even people, like Daniel said, he follows the Corvettes and so on. Someday he may buy from one post there if he sees the perfect car and he goes, whoa, I got to have it now. And his wife says, no. But Daniel would have to say, And so, even cars are possible to sell. Real estate is possible to sell. You draw their interest, you take them to a page where you write more about the product, or you give them the opportunity to follow your page so that, let's say you're a used car auto dealer and you post up all your different used cars. At some point, somebody's going to buy one of those if they follow your board. The same with real estate, local real estate people selling houses through Pinterest.
Awesome. Yeah, and I'm just kind of going back through some of these questions. I hope that's responsive to your question, Bob. Bob M. And we had another question that basically went something like, "What if you don't have a business product or a book to market? How do you make money with it then?" Essentially, is the question. Do you have a response for that, John?
Yeah, I mean, the basic thing is if you don't have a product or service yet, you can certainly create one really quickly, but you can also sell affiliated products. So you can sell books from Amazon, you can sell products or services from ClickBank or JVZoo or any of the other affiliate products, including websites that have, say, jewelry for sale or even cars for sale. And don't forget, make sure Daniel sees your board.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you definitely want to show it to me. All right, so the place to go, realfastsocialgraphics.com/Bob. And that link is in your chat. The reason I keep saying it's in your chat is because there it's clickable. So you don't have to worry about opening a browser window and typing all that out. You just go there and open up the browser, click, and it will open it up, and you could then go through the order process. And once again, the very best deal available is the deal that we have available right now. So I would strongly recommend, really strongly recommend that you head over there if you want to do the deal, and grab it right now while you're thinking about it, and while you know that it is actually at the absolute best price that's available. Okay, and the other thing I wanted to do here is I wanted to show folks the members area so that you know what it looks like, and how to basically navigate it. So let me open it up here and show you what the area is going to look like. So here it is right now. Here it is, and a couple things I want to point out here. First off, once you get in, the very first thing is come over here to where it says Facebook group, and just come and make sure this is sort of your homework. Come and join the group. So just click here and hit join. And as you can see, we have now 866 members as of right now. And other thing I want to show you here. Okay, yeah, and here's our support site. If you have any issues with that, we could help you here. And that actually should take us to real fast GPS. Oopsie. Takes you here to greatproductsupport.com. Okay. And this is my support site. So if you have any issues, you'll go there. And of course, here are all the trainings, right? So all the training you can see here, a lot of them have PDF downloads that accompany them, so it's easier for folks how to create pins, building your followers and profile on Pinterest, monetization, bonus sections. So yeah, it's all here ready and ready for you to go. And then the other thing I wanted to show you is that this is a very dynamic program in that if you come up with a question, some part of the training that we don't yet have, you could actually request new training to be made and to be addressed here. So that's again very, very unique. So the place to go to grab this very special deal is right here, realfastsocialgraphics.com/Bob. That link is in your chat right now, so you can go there and check out. Let's see if we've got new a new deal. Let's see. Jeremiah is asking, how long is the discounted price good for? I can guarantee you that it's good through the time we are live on this webinar. Okay, no promises after that. So yeah, so if you can swing it, I would go ahead and just grab it right now. Okay. Bob asked another great question. Would this be a good tool for lead capture, list building, for email marketing? That's what I do. That's how I use it. So
it's how Brian Tracy, who's a speaker and sales trainer, he also does that. He does a lot of stuff where he shares inspirational quotes and then he invites people to download a free report from his website. And that way he captures their names, and he's captured thousands and thousands of names through Pinterest that way.
Absolutely. And ooh, that's a really great thing. Absolutely, Bob. Bob's saying, I teach mindfulness. Is that a good fit? In so many ways, is that a good fit? Because that is sort of a kind of a softer topic that appeals to, of course, both sexes, but many, a lot of females are interested in that aspect of personal development. And so, yes, this is a really good fit for that. Absolutely. Okay, the place to go, realfastsocialgraphics.com/Bob. We're going to be closing up shop here in a few minutes. So if you haven't yet grabbed this very special deal, go ahead and do that right now. Or if you've got something kind of sticking in your mind, it's like, this sounds good, I'd love to do it, but I'm not sure, fill in the blank. So let us know. Let us address your questions. And get those into the chat right now before we end today. So basically, we're kind of ticking down. If you have not yet taken action, go ahead and grab it. And we will see you on the inside. Rebecca says, I tried to purchase the program with a credit card, but it keeps directing me to PayPal. No answer on the phone. So let me actually take you through the buying process, because we use PayPal to process the credit cards. Okay, so let me actually take you through the process here, so that you can see basically what to do. So here's where you're going, realfastsocialgraphics.com/Bob. You're going to click this site. You're going to put in your email and your telephone number here for us. So I'm going to do that for myself right now. I'll take you through the process here. By the way, I want to start welcoming. I see all the folks jumping in now. I want to welcome you to the fold. You're going to love this program, and if you have done that, go ahead and let us know in the chat. Let us know in the chat that you have, and what you hope to get out of this. That would be great. That's helpful for us. And okay, so for you, Rebecca, it probably took you here, right? And this is what you're saying. Hey, it took me to PayPal. So if you don't have a PayPal, or you don't want to use your PayPal, you just come down here where it says pay with credit or debit card, and then you just kind of go through the same process here, and then they just do it that way. Okay, so that's how that works. Okay, great. So let's see, other questions here. Mary says that she got involved today because she is hoping to create some content products. So, here's the other really cool thing about Pinterest. Speaking of content products, Mary, because that's what I have done for a living for the last 11 years. I'm well acquainted with the creation of content products, and the really nice thing is that you can use Pinterest to know what kind of content products will sell. Okay, that's obviously an important thing. It's I've had some flops where I've like, hey, I think this is a great idea, and I create a product and no one buys it, or very few people buy it. That's pretty disheartening. So obviously you want to minimize that experience. And the nice thing is that with Pinterest, you can. I mean, it's possible because you could see what's trending, what's hot, what people are interested in, what people are repinning, and then you create solutions to those types of products. So great. Yeah. Well, actually, what I would do, Mary, so Mary's saying, I see how this could help me promote them. However, I need to create the content before I can promote them. So here's the smart money. Here's what the smart money does, okay? If you're interested in creating a content product, you test, and you make pins that around a piece of content or a constellation of content or niche that you want to create, and you start pinning it, and then you start sending people from Pinterest to a opt-in page where people can get something free, maybe a 2 or 3 page PDF document, or maybe an audio download, or something that allows you to see and collect their name and email address, and also gauge interest in a particular piece of content. And when that takes off, or if it takes off, a couple cool things happen. First, you can ascertain, you could learn whether or not what you have in mind to create has an audience potentially. And the powerful thing here is that you can build an email list with it. And once the product is done, now you've got a list of people that have already raised their hands and said, tell me more, and a way to reach out and connect with them that you control. Okay, that's why Pinterest is so doggone powerful. So great questions, Mary, and I want to welcome you to the fold. And I want to welcome everyone else who has gotten into the program today. We are going to be closing up here in a few minutes. So the place to go, if you haven't yet done this, is at realfastsocialgraphics.com/Bob. If you're if you're live with us, that link is in your chat area. Okay, if you are on if you're on a rebroadcast or a replay, the links are likely directly below where you are now watching. So you go ahead and grab, just click that add to cart button below where you are now watching if you're on a rebroadcast or a replay, which, by the way, we get questions all the time. Will we have a rebroadcast or a replay? The answer is we hope so. That is, if the tech gods smile upon us, and they don't always smile on us. Maybe you've noticed that once in a while technology doesn't work the way you want it to work. So once again, don't take the risk if you've made the decision to go ahead and grab this very special deal. Don't wait for the replay. Go ahead and grab it right now at realfastsocialgraphics.com/Bob. We have any other questions that you see in the chat, John? I want to make sure that we've answered everyone's questions.
I haven't seen anything else yet. I did want to say to Mary that, I'm working on a fitness product because I've built up a huge audience on fitness because of that one Bob Harper pin and other pins that interest fitness people. And so I'm working on a fitness book, and I don't have it out yet, but I'm glad to have the audience already built in.
Exactly. And again, that's the smart way to do it, especially if you're doing content, because you can see, hey, what's resonating with my community, and or this niche that I want to market to or serve in some way, right? Okay.
And then
Oh,
one person again had the question, can I pin a video? And the answer is yes, you can pin a video. In my experience, videos don't produce near the results that a good quote graphic or typographic does, but you can do it, and I do. I repin at least one video a week, just hoping to catch other people that have different interests. And so yes, you can do videos. You can also do GIFs. Uh, so you have the opportunity. I have not found GIFs to be effective for me at all. Um, well, that's not completely true. I had a nice snowy church image where the snow was coming down, and that one has driven traffic for me. So I guess I have to correct my thinking on that.
so yeah, and for those of the people that don't know, basically an animated GIF, it's like a static picture, but there's some element of it that moves. Okay, that's what an animated GIF is for those folks that don't know. And the really nice thing about it is that the program is geared to help you design pins for your particular niche. In the beauty of Pinterest, once again, is that the boards. Let me show you what I mean here, because this is a really important point. The boards that, or the pins that you put up on a board. So let's go back here to Pinterest, and let me go back to my profile here. So, because I want to show you my dream cards board. So here I'm going to go to my board, and we're going to go to, where's my dream cards board here? You can see some of these other things that I'm interested in. Here's my dream cars. Okay, so here's the reason why Pinterest is so powerful. So somebody like me, I've got a board, my dream cars, right? Cool cars I will eventually own, and cars I already own. That's my description for this board. And if I scroll down here, like if somebody finds this board and says, "Ooh, I like this guy's taste," right? I really like this guy's taste. Let me just see what's on their board. The first pin that I put on this page was this one. And as you can tell, it's been repinned 23 times, okay? This one here has been pinned 593 times, okay? And I don't know, I put up probably 2 years ago, 3 years ago, something like that for this board, okay? So again, once you have your board, the pins that you put up today, basically stay and can potentially drive traffic to wherever you want. I want them to go to Real Fast Book in this case. So I click on this board, and back when I first started this, it went to the wrong place here. But here's the really cool thing: it goes to wherever you send them, and it's still out and working even months, years later. Okay, that's a very, very important thing that you understand. So the place to go, and I'm seeing all of the orders come in. I want to welcome you to the fold. For those folks that have already taken action on this, realfastsocialgraphics.com/Bob is the place to go. That link is in your chat if you're here live with us. Great question from Bob M, not Bob B, Bob M, who says, would this work for a crowdfunding effort? John, do you have any thoughts on that?
It could work as a supplemental. It won't drive. You have to remember that most pins are long lasting. So a lot of the traffic you get could be a month later or 2 months later as it gets repinned and repinned, because it's not the people that follow you that are going to send the most traffic. It's the repins and the repins and the repins. That means as more people share it. But most crowdfunding efforts are 30 days, maybe 60 days. So you may not have time for Pinterest to do its magic as well. Although I've had pins that have generated 100 or 200 or 300 repins within the first month, and you know, the Bob Harper one had 40,000 repins in 1 month, but that's fairly unusual. It's more likely that it's the accumulation of traffic. So if you have a crowdfunding program, you can send it there for the first month or two while your crowdfunding campaign is going, but once it's done, you'd want to go back and edit that link to take them to somewhere else where you have a sales page or something like that.
Yeah, the smart thing to do for you, Bob, in my opinion, is to first send folks not to your crowd fund, but to to some sort of a link where they get something free, some free offer that's related to your crowd fund. So you get their name and email address, so that when you do actually fire up a crowd fund program, you've got, once again, you've got leads, you've got people that you can talk to and engage with and build a relationship with. I mean, that's the beautiful thing about Pinterest.
And the neat thing about that is that you're building the audience, and that link can stay good even after your crowdfunding effort. So yeah, Daniel, that's a great idea in terms of how to implement it.
Yeah, and okay, so the place to go right here, realfastsocialgraphics.com/Bob. All right, so I think we've answered all the questions, have we not? We're coming up to the 2-hour mark here in a minute, so I want to be respectful of folks' time. If you have not yet acted to grab this very special deal, I would strongly recommend that you do that right now if you want to guarantee yourself the very best deal available. And that link is in your chat. Basically, if you could hear the sound of my voice, that means that you can get the very best deal that we have going on right now. Okay. Which I can guarantee through the end of today's presentation, and then not much after. All right, so go ahead.
There was one other question somebody asked. She said she had a grant writing and management service, and Pinterest can be used for services as well as for you know, other products. You showed them the quote from the one lady with NZ proofreading.
Yes.
Something like that. So she offered proofreading services, and she's getting great traffic to that service. So it's not just products that you can sell or books, you can sell services as well. You just have to think about it, and that's where typographics or a good quote graphic would really work well with a service, because with a service you don't always have a great image or picture to go with that service, but you can always create a typographic or a quote graphic that will sell your service.
Yeah, exactly. And I know, you know, Bob attracts a lot of copywriters, and I know because I was one of those guys that I started learning from. You know, I think Bob was one of my first mentors and teachers on. This was before the internet, for crying out loud. And if you have a service like copywriting, typographics are a great way to get going with that and drive people back to your pages on your website, so that they could sign up for your, you know, whatever, your swipe file that you've got, or investigate, you know, menu of your services, or you know, whatever. You know, that's again the beautiful thing about this, is that it's what I like to call Pinterest is it's the gift that keeps on giving. You do something once, and it could potentially benefit you for, you know, months, years into the future. So looks like we have answered most of the questions, or all the questions that I can see here. And so John, do you have any concluding remarks for the training today before we go off air?
Well, I think it's what you said. It's a gift that keeps on giving, because it's really, you're building a long-term business through Pinterest. I mean, it really won't go away. Like, you know, Facebook, you know, people created all kinds of Facebook pages, and what happened recently? Facebook said, we're not going to show your page post to anybody anymore. Basically, that's what they said. Unless somebody definitely tells Facebook, I want to see that. But, you know, on Pinterest, once you pin something, Pinterest is not going to get it to go away because people are repinning it, repinning it, and repinning it. So even if they somehow block your account, you're still going to get traffic. You know, it doesn't matter because it's the repins that really drive the traffic, and that's what gives it a long-term value in terms of a gift that keeps on giving.
Absolutely. Okay, so with that, oh, Steve snuck in with a question, and I want to be respectful of Steve's question here. She says, can this be used for a professional interior designer? Oh my gosh, a professional interior designer to get more business. What say you, John?
Oh, yes, yes, yes. People love, and you know, I see it all the time. Interiors that people love, and they save them because they want ideas for what they might do. But in the process, they could very well hire you, and you could even pin to a specific location. So you could again do interior design in Denver or interior design in Austin or whatever it might be, to draw the people that you want to draw for local business. But people love interiors. I mean, I see so many gorgeous interiors. I love kitchens, so I look at kitchen interiors, and boy, there's some beautiful things that people do.
Yes, exactly. Yep, exactly.
The same way that people love to share beautiful houses, beautiful sunsets, beautiful all kinds of things, lawns, and so on. So there's lots of opportunity to sell a service within the context of what you're doing as you pin.
Yeah, Steve says, I have a lot of women in competition with me. I can understand that. And the really cool thing about Pinterest is as you build your boards, you rise above that competition. You become they call it the advantage of the slight edge, right? Because they're the one. You're the person that they're following. You're the one that's giving them really good content and really good ideas, and it's really perfect to showcase your own ideas, Steve, and show off what you could do, right? And kind of do a one of the things that we haven't talked about, but that's in this training. Is there is a way to actually kind of do a step-by-step graphic. John calls them pictographs. And essentially, you can kind of take people through your thinking in the form of a couple of pictures, 2, 3, 4 pictures, on kind of doing a before or after, or before, during, and after image of your own projects to show off your talent. And that's, again, as you probably are aware, Steve, that there's a lot of talented designers out there that may not get the business just because they're not that good of marketers. And if you're a good designer and a good marketer, mamma mia, yeah.
This is Pinterest, Steve. One of the things to do if you want to attract women, because they're your competition, is to put women into the picture, into your interior designs, into the things you've created for other people or for your own self, to showcase that this is, really well designed for women.
Yes, exactly right. Okay. Let's see. We have other questions here. Looks like we have more people to welcome into the fold. So thank you for that, and welcome. Really appreciate that. And I could guarantee you, here's one thing that I know, is that for those of you that are investing right now, and there's a big group of you, I could tell you that 1 year from right now, you'll look back on this decision to grab Real Fast Social Graphics and the help that we give you, and you'll look back on this decision as one of the best that you've made all year. And I don't say that lightly, and that's not marketing hyperbole, although it might sound that way. I really truly believe that. So I really hope that you will join us. realfastsocialgraphics.com/Bob.
And Steve just said, I have followed Bob Bly for years, and this has been an awesome webinar. Wow, thank you.
Thank you
And
for
I
that,
followed
Steve.
Bob for years. He's followed me for years, and we have a mutual admiration society going on. And you know, it's Daniel and I the same way. We like to do business with people that do well for other people, and that's what we're trying to do here with this Pinterest course. Is really to teach you how to use Pinterest effectively as a marketing tool. So thanks, Bob, for letting us on.
Yeah, thanks to Bob Bly for being a wonderful host as usual. And if you haven't yet grabbed this, this is sort of your final opportunity. Go ahead and do that right now. And thanks to you, John, and thanks to everyone that's here. And we will see all of you in the members area. I'm gonna keep this page up and the webinar on for a few more moments. So that the stragglers can jump in right now and grab this, and then when we go off the air, which will be again in a few moments, then I would strongly recommend you grab this right now to lock in the very best deal we have. realfastsocialgraphics.com/Bob. That link is in your chat. For those of you that are here live, if you're here on a rebroadcast or a replay, the link is right below where you are now watching. Oh, one other thing I want to just say to those folks that may be watching on a rebroadcast or a replay, there is likely a countdown timer. That is, if we have a replay, hopefully we will, but we'll see. You'll see a countdown timer right above where you are now watching. When that countdown timer ticks down to 0, the deal will be over. Okay, so if that's if you're kind of kicking it around, thinking about it, do it. Take action before the countdown timer goes to 0. Okay, so we will see you on the inside. And I should say that you can definitely get this program later, but you will pay a much higher price for it. So again, if you want that, that's the time to act is now. Okay, so we'll see you on the inside. Thanks so much for having us and for sticking around and learning. Bye, everyone.